Hi everyone, today I'll go through how I get my bass drum sound. We'll go through what pedal I use, the drum heads, and what the drum is made out of, and my preferred tuning method as well. So to start off, I use a Pearl Eliminator double pedal, and you'll see they're like a quad head. So they've got two plastic shapes, one slightly rounded and one with a flat back. And then they've got two felt, which is a white, flat front and curved. The setting of this is all personal preference. What I've found is with the square fronted white felt, you're going to get quite a thud without a click, whereas when you go the square part there, which is plastic, and that strikes the drum head, it will be more clicky. So you're going to get quite a boom from it, but it will be a clicky sound. I found a lot of metal drummers play the plastic sides and the flat side. Also, when you play a DW pedal, they're generally felt, square felt one end, and have a square plastic end on the other side, so that you can flip it around to suit whatever song you're playing. The drum head I'm using is a Remo color tone, and it's actually done in purple. I have used an EMAD, so clear EMAD, for probably 10 plus years. Love the EMAD drum head. It's the one with the external dampening on it. I changed to the color tone because my whole drum kit is now color tone. I'm not endorsed by color tone. It was just a choice to try something new out. And I've found that it gives a slightly muffled bass drum sound. So you're getting the Eric Carr sound, kind of a boomy bass drum as well. It doesn't have the clarity that the EMAD has, but it still gives quite a low note as well. The next part of my drum sound actually comes from the shell construction and also what type of wood were used in my drums. So you'll see here up on the toms, there's actually a darker stripe there. That's Jarrah, and then the caramel color is Fijian mahogany. Now the Fijian mahogany gives the lowest note, the boomiest sound that Red Rock drums offer. Now you can bring them different types of wood or ask them to build something for you. I've gone for the Fijian mahogany Jarrah mix. This is the only full drum kit with this setup. I opted for the Fijian mahogany with the Jarrah stripes. So those staves here, so there's two staves here that are Jarrah, and the rest of the staves are Fijian mahogany. And the way I've got it set up is there's 4 sections of Jarrah, top and bottom, and then left and right. They've also got wood hoops with the Jarrah inlay. This is the bass drum sound that I currently have. That's with snare off, snare on. So, been able to get quite a big note out of it. I've been experimenting with the tuning, and I've finally got that kind of low note and also the big sound. In the drum intro of I Love It Loud, you'll hear the mighty drum sound that Eric Carr achieved. Now that was done with a much bigger bass drum, and they actually played it into an elevator shaft. So if you can't get access to an elevator shaft for a gig or a recording, you'll need to experiment with your tuning and find the lowest note that your drums can project without having any wrinkles in the drum heads or any nasty overtones. This is the foam section that I put in my bass drum. So you can see the way I've got the bass drum set up. It's got the foam piece across the bottom of the drum. Now the sound hole for this drum is on the bottom of the drum, and I've used the nut from the sound hole to hold that piece of foam in so it doesn't move when I'm playing. You'll notice that the bearing edge is lighter than the rest of the drum. This drum originally started with 45-degree bearing edges. I took it back to Red Rock Drums because they suggested that we cut fully rounded bearing edges on the whole drum kit. I mentioned to Roger at the time that I'll go for rounded bearing edges on the 2 floor toms and the bass drum, being the lower drums, and keep the 45-degree bearing edges on the 8, 10, and 12. So far, I'm really happy with it. The 8, 10, and 12 have quite a bark to them because they have the 45-degree edge, and the floor toms acoustically are brilliant. with the rounded edge, giving you a much lower note and further resonance. Only having this foam piece, the drum was too ringy. It even with the EMAT on it, it was quite a boom. I wanted a more of a shorter note. So nothing special on the next step. This is just a bed sheet folded up so it touches the batter head and the front head. So in order to get the bass drum sound that I've currently got, I've got that foam piece that is tightened into the sound hole that touches the batter head and the resonant head. I've got the bed sheet. After the bed sheet, it's a pillowcase, so just an empty pillowcase. And on top of that is a fitted sheet as well that I've just folded up pretty loosely. So I push them down slightly. Then I put the resonant head on, tighten and tune, and through the sound hole, you can move the blankets around a little bit to either lower the height of them or to move them for a more optimal sound. Next step, part of the process is tuning, of course. So I haven't altered the batter head so far. We kept that as it is. I just took the front head off to show you what I use inside the drum. When we tune any other drum, we use a drumstick, and we normally just tap to get our note. So instead of using a drumstick, because the drum's so big, you're not going to get that longer note when you're hitting it to correctly tune. After only finger tightening these, you can adjust where that drum head sits. So you can shake that around a little bit to get it as vertical and as in line as possible. The next step, instead of tuning using a drumstick, we're going to tune using a bass drum beater. Now, just for this exercise, I'll use this wood beater, but you're better off using a felt tip so you just get the note. What we'll do, we'll go around, make sure there's tension all around the drum. Once there's tension, then we do our star pattern of tuning. We'll go around the bass drum. You'll hear in that it's too loose. There's a waver in the drum. Just there. We'll tune it up again. Once we're happy with the tuning of each of the tuning rods, give it a couple of hits in the middle, and you'll feel that presence in the note. I'm happy with that so far. Last thing we do, give it a hit,